In this lesson, I'm going to show you everything you need to know to create beautiful AI components. Together, we will create this component with AI in less than 10 minutes. So let's dive right in. So now let's say we want to create something like this one, which is quite complex, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can make it. So I think we can take the entire thing and we can screenshot it now and then save it. We want to go back to FrameKit and add an AI block. And here we want to do two things. We want to add the reference image, but we also want to explain it in detail. So now we're going to try to explain three things. We're going to try to explain the layout and positioning, the animations and the functionality, and then also what it's about. So here we have a couple of images that are a little bit tilted in a 3D style look. And then we have the title over it. And in the bottom, we have three texts. So now we're going to think, how can we apply this to our design or our website? So I'm going to say, please create a hero banner component like the reference image. Now it's going to look at the reference image, but it's not always going to be 100% perfect because sometimes it cannot specifically understand what you want. So we're going to say it has a title, a quote for my branding agency in the middle centered with behind it a stack of vertical images. We can be specific and say 4x5 images. Maybe aspect ratio just to be even more specific. And then we can say the images are tilted and stacked. And when hovering, they move and tilt perspective. That could be cool. And on the bottom of the hero banner, there are three columns. One left with a... Now we have to decide what we want. So it could be like the name of the agency with a quote, the location, and the year established. So let's do that. So we'll say with the left the name of the agency called Agen with a quote, and in the middle there is the location, New York, and on the right, in the middle column. So here I have to say in the middle column, and then I say on the right column, there is a text right aligned, saying the established agency date. So now we can try this and go from there. So let's create it and see. All right, so now it created it. It did a really good job, to be honest. It's not exactly the same, but for me, that's okay. But let's first go up and polish things. All right, so now we've replaced the images. This works pretty well. However, I think this component specifically would work a little bit better on a dark side, but let's just continue. So now what I notice is that I still have to edit to the hero banner. So just like that. I just have to change this back quickly now, because when you set the hero banner, it changes these two colors. Now I see that it has different texts based on where you hover, which is pretty cool, but I want that to be in dark text. And I think I also want that positioning to be a bit different. So as you can see now, that has changed. Now also what I want to do is I wanted to come up with a really cool title. So I'll say, please make the hero title be a really nice quote for my branding agency that clients will like when they see it. All right, so that worked, but it's a little bit too long. So now I'm just going to say captivate, connect, and convert. So I'll say captivate, connect, and convert. Yeah, so that works pretty well. We also have to move the text down a bit. So let's say, please make the text and images positioning of editable horizontally and vertically. So this will allow us to change everything. I know that in the future, FrameKit will have this much more flexible where you can just drag things around. So that's going to be very exciting. But for now, you have to do it this way. All right, so now let's see what it did. So yeah, as you can see, I can now change the image positions of each one. But for this sake, let's just keep it the way it is. So now what we want to do is we want to change this back. All right, so I'm really happy with how this component turned out. But one last thing we can do to make it look even more premium is animate everything in nicely. So in the next lesson, I'm going to go over how we animate things in nicely so that you can do so yourself. It's very simple, so I'll see you in the next one.